Good morning. So this is a big cooking day for me. I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a little pop-up live because I'm getting ready to make my dressing. I like to let it soak in the refrigerator for a little bit because it's got chicken broth that goes in it. And I figure why not just bring you guys along? So I probably should have had a little bit more ready before I logged on. I do have the cornbread already cooked. That's obviously a big part of what happens. But I'm going to add my other ingredients. If you've been interested in making dressing, we call it dressing here. We don't call it stuffing because we don't stuff it into the turkey. So this is just a good old-fashioned Southern recipe handed down, you know, in my family for many, many generations. I don't think I've really changed it at all from the way I learned how to make it. And so what I'm going to be doing now, well, let me show you first. I've got my cornbread. It's been cooling. So that was the first thing I did this morning was I got up and made some cornbread and let it cool. And I sometimes make homemade cornbread, but this year I just used the pre-made, the little mix here. And Richard doesn't eat dressing, so aside from the fact that the kids, family, and friends that come for Thanksgiving seem to like it because they eat it, it's just me. So I've learned not to make as much as I used to make when the kids were little and everybody liked the dressing because it ends up not getting eaten. But I could live off of just this dressing with a little bit of gravy on it. It's just that tasty and satisfying and filling. So I'm going to start breaking up this cornbread. And again, I'll just apologize that I don't already have some things more prepared because I'm sure you guys are also busy in your kitchens. I'm going to try to get this camera tripod set up where hopefully it's not going to fall over. I can't find my little countertop one, so we'll just stay down here. I've got it set up where I can see. And once you've cooked your cornbread again, let it cool because then you're going to go back and here's what I do. I'll just cut it into little pieces and then we're going to go back through and crumble it up with our fingers. That's the biggest reason you need to let it cool because it's kind of hard to crumble hot cornbread. At least hard on your fingers because it's hot. Get this broken into little pieces. I'm going to move this once I get it cut up like this. I'm going to put it into a bigger dish because by the time I add all the other stuff I'm going to add, there won't be room in this little dish for it. So let me get a bigger dish. I'm already so proud because we have 5 golf here today. Our 3, our regular twice-a-week boarder. She spends 2 nights a week with us, 4 days. And then we've got a repeat boarder here. Can you come and say hi? Yeah, they can see you. Come here. No, that's not for you. Come here and say hi. This is Hero. This is his second time to board with us. I guess I should wash my hands now because I just scratched his neck. All right, and let's get back to breaking up this cornbread. I realize some people may not want to stay through this whole stream since I don't have a lot of it already prepped and ready to go. I just go through now, break this up with my fingers. You do want some chunks in it. I think that's part of why it's called dressing is because it's very textured and has the little chunks of cornbread in it. But I'll get some of these broken up and then I'll show you up close what you're shooting for. And I've done this in a pinch when I was behind schedule on getting things ready for Thanksgiving. I have had to crumble up the cornbread when it was still pretty hot. See if you can tell. Again, just little crumbles. We're going to do that with all of the cornbread here. I've posted in a couple of places. If any of you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you are welcome to stop by tomorrow and have some Thanksgiving feast with us. I do pretty much everything. It'll be a turkey. I use the drippings from the turkey to make gravy. Pretty good gravy maker. We'll have mashed potatoes and corn and green beans and hot rolls, sweet potato casserole. I've got pumpkin pie and pecan pie already done. And then usually I put out I've always called it a relish tray. I don't know if that's accurate. Pickles and olives and pickled okra and cheese and crackers. And I don't know if I'm going to make my Swedish meatballs this year or not. And then on Thanksgiving Day for us, it's usually very come and go for the family because my oldest daughter and her son and their two girls will be in from out of town, and they've got several places that they swing by to spend some holiday time with family. All right, so that's broken up. I am going to cut up now some celery. I'm sure if you've watched even just a couple of my recipe videos, you know that I don't cook with recipes. Everything I learned to cook growing up was just taught by watching. So, and this dressing is one that you really don't need a recipe. You make your cornbread, whether you're using a mix like I did this time, or you're making your own cornbread, and then you put in as much of the other ingredients as you like. I do try to chop the celery. This is just celery. And I've got 4 stalks of celery for this batch because, again, it's not a very big batch. But when I make my big batch, when I have made my big batches in years past, I usually buy one of those great big rectangular aluminum, throwaway pans. And I'll put the whole thing of celery in it. Little goes to waste here because even the dogs enjoy like a little piece of celery with some peanut butter on it. That's a fun little dog treat. And I like that too. Crunchy and sweet, healthy. I can't really see oh, hang on. I do see that P-Hop is here. Joe and Sue at the Bud Files are here. Let me do a little scroll. So I'm going to apologize already that I'm not going to be able to multitask very well. I'd love for you in the chat to let me know if you have a favorite dish or a special dish that you prepare every year for Thanksgiving, or something that your family really, really likes each year. And then tomorrow, I've mentioned it already somewhere. It may have been in a chat somewhere that during the day tomorrow, so I like to watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, but obviously I'm in the kitchen, so I just have to go in and out in between phases of preparing whatever I might be working on and catch some of the floats and balloons. But I always have a tablet here in the kitchen. Usually it's propped right up here on this shelf above the stove. And I watch the MST3K Turkey Day Marathon. It's always a fun time. And the episodes are always some favorites of mine. And even though I can't really watch it, most of the episodes I've seen many, many times. So I will hear what's happening and I can picture the scenes just because I've seen the that episode so many times. So thanks to those who are watching with me today. I know that even though there may not be a whole lot of people able to catch this live, this little pop-up live that I didn't think to do until I took my cornbread out of the oven this morning. I'm hoping that if someone's interested in learning how to make dressing, they can catch the replay. Let me know if you call this dressing or stuffing where you live. And if you call it stuffing, do you really stuff it into the turkey? I hope y'all can hear me. I know I'm not a quiet person, but I do feel like I'm farther from the phone and the camera than I usually am. Hi, Dr. Lund. How are you? I'm making dressing. That's what we call it down here in the South. These other little leftover pieces of celery that you see me tossing to the side, Yancey likes those. And the flock is crazy about any kind of produce, any kind of greens. We had someone donate a whole lot of romaine lettuce last week, so they are enjoying that with every meal right now, in addition to their standard grapes and peas and corn and carrots and green beans that I mix that with their poultry feed. They get flock raiser poultry feed. I alternate that with Missouri waterfowl maintenance. It's created specifically for waterfowl. It's got the niacin that they need and the correct protein levels. The flock raiser that I use, I have to cut it with cracked corn or whole oats so that the protein level is not too high. And then I supplement niacin for them. They get chopped chicken liver a couple times a week, and they're able to forage on the property and find bugs and little fish in the back pond and other things that keep their niacin levels where they need to be. I'm just going to get a little bit more out of this. We don't have really any other Thanksgiving traditions besides eating. The guys always want to watch the Cowboys play. I'm not really a football fan, so that's not my thing. That's pretty good there. And now I am going to cut up an onion. I saw a video on YouTube yesterday about not throwing away the papery peel of an onion, that you can like boil it or put it on top of rice that you're cooking, stuff like that, because there's supposed to be a lot of nutritional value, a lot of health benefits. I think onions in general just offer health benefits, so I never really thought about boosting those. Again, my apologies for anyone watching wondering, why didn't she already have this stuff cut up or peeled? Or this was kind of a last-minute impromptu live stream itch that I got. Maybe it'll make today more enjoyable for me. I like today because I like cooking. I don't mind being in the kitchen. I do not like having to clean up. Richard does usually take care of the dirty dishes for me. But I did have to, 5 dogs. I had to wash 5 dog bowls after their breakfast today. So that was already a sink full. Right. I like a lot of onion. But I don't want to use this whole onion, I don't think. And again, you put in as much of whatever you want to put in it as you'd like. I do try to cut the onion kind of small too, just so it has a better chance of getting tender as it's soaking in the fridge and then baking in the oven. So the baking is not going to happen right away today. I'll get it all put together, and then it will sit in the refrigerator. I want it to sit in the refrigerator for 5 or 6 hours at least today. I like to cook this. I do like to bake this the day before Thanksgiving. Let's see what Vicky's comment is. Making a turkey breast today for me and the fur babies. They love turkey and chicken ground up. Yeah, nice. Oh, I didn't realize if I touched that it would go on the screen. But there, you guys can see her comment now. Anyway, so it'll soak today, and then I plan to try and get it into the oven tomorrow, mostly because I need the room in the oven for the turkey tomorrow. That'll go on early. The turkey will go into the oven really early tomorrow morning. It's only like a 12-pound turkey. I don't get a big turkey anymore because we get a ham every year too. And I don't have a lot of storage room, so as much as we can finish in one setting, the better. The kids know to bring Tupperware containers so they can take home leftovers for themselves. That was a message from my friend Weave's World. All right, I want a little more onion than that. I like onions, and I think it makes people healthy. And now I'm getting teary-eyed. Okay, it's not on camera. You guys can't see it. It's just onion related. So these are the only 2 veggies that I'll add. Oh, I still want a little more onion. We're gonna say that's enough right here. Again, you cannot mess this up. I don't know what else you could put in it. I guess if there was another veggie that you wanted in it, you could add another veggie to it. These obviously are just kind of crunchy when they start, and you for sure don't want your dressing to still be crunchy. You have crunchy bits in it when you serve it. That's why I soak it in the refrigerator for a little while. Let's see. Hope you guys can see that. Let me take that comment off. How do I do that? There. Oh, and let's see. Michael the Realist, thanks for being here. Yeah, the sage is coming, P-Hop. Got to have some sage in it. I've cut back a little on the sage that I use in mine over the years because not everyone likes it as much as I do. Make sure I didn't miss anyone. Okay. I'll get this mixed up. On the years that I've cooked 2 turkeys, I will use drippings from one turkey as the broth for my dressing here. And then the other turkey broth is used for the gravy. All right, so to this, pretty basic. Little salt. Again, you guys just kind of have to watch. So I'm doing just a layer over the top. Obviously, anything can still be salted at the table, but I really like having the flavors infused into whatever dish I'm cooking. So, and a lot of times it's seasoned just right. So as soon as it comes out of the oven or off of the stove, this is the same. So that was pepper. So we did salt and then just some ground black pepper. And now here's the sage. Yeah, I don't know how to tell you. I think I breathed in some pepper. Don't know how to tell you how much I'm putting in here. I'm sure this is 3 tablespoons or so right now. And like all of my cooking, once I've got the broth in this, I'll stir it around and stick my finger in to do the first little taste test. That's how I do things. And then now, again, since I don't have my turkey cooked yet, and I'm going to be using the drippings from the turkey to make my gravy. Well, let's see what's P-Hop saying. Try it with cornbread now. But I got to see what you said before. Yeah, so P-Hop makes stuffing the day before, and I always make my dressing the day before. All right, so this is just some chicken broth. I'm going to use this whole container because it does take a lot of moisture. It does take a lot of liquid, rather, for all of this to cook and everything to get soft. In addition to this 32 ounce for this size. When I make my big dish, the big throwaway pan, there will be at least like 3 of these in it. And then this is just water. It's going to be very soupy because it just really does take a lot of liquid. But I'm going to get this stirred around. And then I will stick my finger in. The sage is very powdery, so it looks like it's a little harder to mix it in. But I just want to evenly distribute these seasonings. This is not a hard dish to do. It just takes a little while because it really does benefit from being able to soak in the fridge for, again, at least 4 or 5 hours. I'm hoping to put this in the fridge by about 4 o'clock this afternoon. What is it? It's 11:45 now, so it'll have 4 hours in the refrigerator, and then it'll need to cook for like an hour in the oven. I'll cook it in the oven for an hour at about 370 degrees. I cover it with foil first. I don't want to lose any more liquid than I have to because it just takes a lot of liquid for this to get cooked. And then after about that hour in the oven at about 370, I'll take the foil off to check it and let it cook uncovered until it's not like soupy anymore. So here comes the first taste test. That's pretty good. I want a little more salt in there. Might even put a little more sage. I really like it sagey. Even if I put a little more sage now, it's not going to be as much as I used to do. Took the little shaker off before, but I'm going to leave it off this time. If I have thyme around, sometimes I'll use thyme in it as well. That seems to go really good with chicken-based things. So the chicken broth in this with the thyme in it is really nice. This might be good with like a little rosemary. I don't have any rosemary growing right now, but often when I've got, I would call this like an aromatic dish. Often I will throw in a lot of things that I have in my herb garden. Right now I'm only growing oregano. I need to get some basil planted. I do like to dry my own herbs, and I do have an herb garden all year. Hey, it's fine. It's just kind of hit and miss what's in my herb garden. All right, we're going to do another taste test. I'm using a different finger. Oh my gosh. So now my brain is already thinking about turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy and all the stuff that's going to go with this. For leftovers, I love to just get a bowl, like a soup bowl, plop some dressing in it, put some gravy on it, shred a little turkey on there, put a blob of mashed potatoes, and make a gruel out of it. It's so flavorful. It's so, again, satisfying, and is just so reminiscent of some of the best parts of my childhood. I will say, my mom, she taught me to read by the time I was 4, and she was a fantastic cook. So I learned a lot about cooking from my mother. Kind of ends there, y'all. It wasn't a pleasant story beyond that, but I've tried to embrace the best parts of it. And I guess I could fix this so I'm actually back on the camera. because there's not really much more now to show you about this dressing. Right now, it's just going to be the waiting game for the dressing to soak up some liquid in the refrigerator. And then I may do a little pop-up live tomorrow when I've got more of the Thanksgiving spread put together. But I don't really want to take up a lot of time for anybody that's enjoying the holiday with friends and family. No, honey, that's not for you. I do have a couple of counter surfers. Our boarders do tend to get really overly curious about what's on the counters. So I've learned the hard way that where I might be comfortable and safe to leave things out, and our dogs don't bug anything or don't bother anything, not some of these visitor dogs. So sorry, I'm not very glamorous today. Today is not a glamorous day for me. It's a work day. I'm working on another video. So I for sure will have a couple of videos going up for tomorrow because they have to do with things I'm thankful for related to YouTube. I hope you guys will check those out. And here's P-Hop's answer. So you use bread. Oh my gosh, yes. Try it with cornbread. And again, it's so simple. You know, get you the little packages. This makes a great cornbread. I don't know if everybody has this brand everywhere they go, Martha White, but any little cornbread mix. Oh, Jiffy, the Jiffy mix, I think it's called. I think you can pretty much get that anywhere. And of course, we always have eggs here. So this batch of prepackaged cornbread mix had a duck egg in it and milk. That's all it takes for this particular kind of cornbread mix. And then, so, you know, in like 2 minutes, you mix it up. And then in another 20 minutes, you put it in the oven and bake it. The most time consuming part is just waiting for it to soak and then letting it cook. So I will have a report for you after Thanksgiving for sure to just let you know how everything turned out. Let's see, Dr. Lund's mom was Polish, so you had lots of Polish food for the holidays. Oh, nice. I don't even know I can't think of a Polish food. What is a Polish food? Well, again, I'm Latina, and the kids always request, in addition to the traditional Thanksgiving fare, turkey dressing, mashed potatoes, gravy, that stuff, they want a pot of beans. They want me to make a pot of my pinto beans that are a meal in and of themselves. I do have a video up about that if you guys want to learn how to make pinto beans. The only thing different about the video that's up and the way I sometimes do the beans is sometimes I'll also put some black beans in with it and have the pinto beans and the black beans together. But it makes more of a soup, which is also really good with cornbread or crackers. I try to plan ahead if I'm going to make a batch of beans so that we're having tacos or quesadillas or something that I can have the beans with. Richard doesn't eat beans. He's the pickiest adult food-wise that I've ever met. And a lot of things that I love, I just don't cook anymore unless someone else is coming over to eat it with me, because I can only eat so much of something so many days in a row before I'm just tired of it. So yeah, Dr. Lund. So I love smoked sausage and sauerkraut. I don't know if that's Polish or not, but I love that. I love sauerkraut. I'm a pickle fan anyway. And sauerkraut's really healthy for you guys. If you didn't know that, Richard won't eat sauerkraut. Richard doesn't eat pickles. So again, I've learned I love some other recipes that are more meat and potatoes, basic kind of things. Not that I didn't like them anyway, but some of the, favorite foods I have, I just can't cook it unless somebody's going to come visit. Y'all come visit. Tell me that you're coming so I can make something that I like that I might not get to eat very often because Richard doesn't really like it. And I guess I'd let you know what we're going to have so you can let me know if you don't like it either. But I've got a lot of dishes that I haven't even shared recipes for online because it's been so long since I cooked it. I haven't had an opportunity to record anything. But thank you. Thank you. I am thankful for you guys in the chat. If you're watching this after it's finished, I'm thankful that you stopped by the channel to watch this. I hope you learned something today. If you have questions, let me know. I'm happy to give you some clarification or more details. I'll have I guess I call it a recipe. I don't know what quantities to tell you except for this 32-ounce container of chicken broth that I use, but I'll have details. I'll have instructions and the list of stuff that's in this in the description. So after the video ends, I'll go back and add that to the description, but maybe you can watch along too and try something new if it's not part of your regular Thanksgiving fare. This dressing is even good with a roasted turkey. You can go get a rotisserie chicken at your favorite store, your favorite grocery store, and this dressing is so good with that. So it's a multi-purpose. I only cook it at Thanksgiving, again, because when it's just me and Richard here, I'm the only one who eats it. I'm sure the dogs would eat it, but dogs are not supposed to have onions, so I guess I might not chance that. But much love to all. If you haven't checked out Monday's cover, I did put up a new cover song on Monday this week. It's one I've been waiting to do for a good while. I'm planning to have another one published Monday coming up. I want to be more consistent with that. Check out the Christmas project video. I'm still waiting for submissions from any of you that want to be a little part of that. And then our Christmas stream on the 23rd of December. Put on your Christmas sweaters and plan to come up on screen with me, and we'll talk about memories and Christmas traditions and wishes and all kinds of the happy things that are associated with the season. I love you all. Be blessed. Have a great day. I hope you're staying safe and happy and well and warm. And let me know if you try this dressing. Again, it'll go into the oven this afternoon and bake for about an hour at 370 degrees covered with foil, or if you have a covered dish, you can use that. Then I'll uncover it and let it bake for probably another 25 minutes. Make sure all of the liquid has been absorbed and that the texture is where I want it. So thanks again for being here today. Happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate all of you. I'm so thankful for all of you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.